أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم القارية ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية. سورة القارعة. Ayah number 1. It's a single word ayah actually, al-Qari'a, which, as we know, when a sentence starts with a noun, it is a nominal sentence. This is a mubtada. Where is the khabar? But the khabar is actually in the next ayah, mal qari'a, which itself is a jumla ismiya. So let's look at the inner sentence first, and then we will render it as a khabar for the first al-Qari'a. So ma in ayah number 2 is mal istifham. Okay. Here it is coming as mubtada. This is, remember, the inner sentence. And then al-Qari'a in the second ayah is the khabar. And together, so this jumla ismiya fi mahalli raf'in khabar li al-Qari'a. Let me just quickly point to the first al-Qari'a so there is no confusion. Okay. And if you look at the meanings, Qari'a comes from qara'a yaqra'u qar'an. Bab fataha, to knock, to hit, to bump, to strike, or to beat. Qari'atun has a meaning of calamity, a disaster, an affliction. It is basically an epithet of the day of judgment. Okay, it's a descriptive adjective of what's going to happen on the day of judgment. So al-Qari'a, the typical translation for this is the striking calamity. Okay. Mal Qari'a, what is the striking calamity? Okay. Wama adraka mal Qari'a, ayah number 3. Harfu atf, followed by again mal istifhamiyah. Adra and ka. Adra is fi'l madi, mabni ala fathat al-muqaddara. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. And ka is maf'ulun bihi number 1. Remember, the verb adra requires 3 maf'ulun bihi. Okay, we found number 1 right there, and then it continues ma al-qari'ah. Okay, this is basically the same analysis as before. Again, al-istifhamiyah. Istifhamiyah, which is coming as mubtada, and al-Qari'a is coming as a khabar. And this jumla mal qari'a, jumla ismiya. Okay. It represents saddat, musaddat, maf'ulay الثاني والثالث. Okay. Li adra. So this jumla represents the maf'ulun bihi number 2 and maf'ulun bihi number 3 for adra yudri. And what adraka will make you realize or know mal qari'a, what is the striking calamity. Okay. What is the striking calamity? So adra, just to quickly wanted to see, just a quick recap, to make someone, so maf'ul bihi number 1, know something or someone, maf'ul bihi number 2 is something or someone. Okay, so that's where the 3 maf'ul bihi come in. The number 1 is ka, we saw that, and then number 2 and number 3 are represented by the jumla ismiya mal qari'a. So al-qari'a to mal qari'a, the striking calamity. What is the striking calamity? Very interesting construction actually. The first al-qari'a is the mubtada, and the question, what is the striking calamity, is the khabar for the first mubtada. And then wama adraka mal qari'a, and what will make you realize what the striking calamity is. So there is a repetition of this word al-qari'a in order to get our attention to how significant or important this event is, and it's the qari'a itself is the key word here that is being repeated. So moving on to ayah number 4, yawma yakunu nasu kal farashil mabsus. Yawma is interesting. There's the whole sentence starts with a zarf, okay, which is mansoob. للفعل محذوف, actually I should say متعلق بفعل محذوف تقديره تقرأ. Kind of going with the same theme of قرأ يقرأ تقرأ. Okay, so that fail is mahzuf, meaning it will thump, it will strike. Okay, I guess it will strike. يوم يكون, this is فعل مضارع, مرفوع, this is ناقص. الناسو is اسم يكون كالفراشي ka and al-farash. حرف جر ka and al-farash is اسم مجرور, and al-mabthuth is نعت لي al-farash. Okay. So yawma we already know the meaning. Okay, the day Yakunu. So kana yakunu we have seen before. Masdar being kaunan, to be or become, also has the meaning of to exist or to happen. One of the interesting words from this verb is makan, okay, which means place, or also has the meaning of direction or side. Okay. So yawma yakunu, okay, will be an-nas. We have seen the word nas before. The mankind. Kal farash. Okay. Farash, farasha yafrushu, Pershan or firashan. Okay. Has the meaning of to spread. And there is slightly different spelling. Farasha, yafrushu or yafrishu. The meaning for that are given as to pave or to cover the ground. To pave or to cover the ground. Okay. And the word farsh, which we used in Urdu as well, with the plural being furush, anything which is spread on the ground as a bedding, or also has the meaning of furnishings or beddings. Farash is a collective noun, totally different meaning, by the way. Moths or butterflies. Okay, moths or butterflies. Kal farash, so ka is a harfu tashbih. Okay, the mankind like the moths. I forgot to mention one thing. I just realized it as I was analyzing it. This jar majroor, because we never brought in the this jar majroor is fi mahalli nasbin khabar yakunu. So the day when mankind will be like the moths, al-mabthus comes from bassa yabussu bassan. Okay. To scatter something, to disperse. Mabthus is a ism maf'ul, something which is scattered or dispersed. Okay. So scattered. Scattered. The day when mankind will be like scattered moths. Okay. Again, look at the imagery that's being given here. Moth is something that we consider so insignificant, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that on that day, all of you will basically be like that, like the scattered moths. So whatever significance you give to the moth, probably will have that much or even less significance than that. So now we start ayah number 5, inshallah. وتكون الجبال كالإحن المنفوش. So واو is حرف عطف. تكون, we know it's فعل ماضي, فعل مضارع مرفوع. This is ناقص. Okay. And this جملة is معطوف على السابقة, the previous sentence. Okay. الجبال is اسم تكون. Okay. Now the use of takunu versus yakunu. Yakunu was for an-nas, which is masculine, but jibal is plural. It's a broken plural for ghair aqil, for irrational. So it is treated like a feminine singular. That's why you have takunu as opposed to yakunu. So اسم تكون مرفوع بالضمة كالعهن المنفوش. So ka is again حرف تشبيه, حرف جر actually, حرف جر للتشبيه. Then عهن is اسم مجرور and المنفوش is نعت للعهن. Okay, and this whole jar majroor, okay, this jar majroor is في محل رفع, sorry, في محل, what am I saying, نصب خبر تكون, خبر تكون. Okay, just want to make sure I'm not missing something here. Yeah, so let's do the translation inshallah. وتكون, and will be, from the context we know it is for the future. Al-Jibal, okay, Jibal comes from Jabala, Yajbelu, also Yajbulu, Jabalan. Okay, and the meaning for the verb itself is to create, to mold, to form. Okay, Jibilla is another word which we use in Urdu as well, the plural of Jibillatun. Has a meaning of natural disposition, nature. It's also a collective noun meaning generations. Jabal, which is a word that we are dealing with here, actually Jibal, singular being Jabal, means mountain. So Al-Jibal is mountains. Okay, so the mountains will be kal ahin. So ka means like, and then ahin is ahana ya'hunu ahnan. Okay, Bab Nasara, to remain, to stay, to dwell, okay, to go forth. That's the meaning of the Sulasi Mujarrad fail. But the word ahin, the noun, itself has a meaning of multicolored wool. Multicolored wool. Okay. So the mountains will be like wool, or you can say multicolored wool. Manfush. So nafasha, yanfushu nafshan. Again, Bab Nasara, to disperse, to swell out, to fluff, to puff up. It is also said for birds when they ruffle their feathers. That's the action they're doing in nafasha. They're basically fluffing up their feathers. The word nafsh itself actually also means wool. Manfush, which is ismul maf'ul, means something which is teased out, fluffed up. Okay, so fluffed up. Okay, that on that day the mountains, which look like such strong structures, one of the strongest structures that we can basically see on this earth, on that day will seem like one of the weakest structure that we see, which is the wool, which basically has almost no weight, and it is also fluffed up, meaning it basically has a lot of volume but no weight or no strength in it. Okay, so that's how the mountains would look like. Okay, so just imagine the imagery which Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is actually sharing, that what will be the state of these things which look so important and so strong. Okay, we always think of very highly of ourselves as being intellect and very strong, and then I mean we will be like as insignificant as what we think insignificant. By the way, I don't mean to say the moths are not significant, are not important, but at least from a human being perspective, from our perception, we always consider them to be something very insignificant on this earth. But that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that human beings will be like that on that day, and mountains, which we think are symbols of strength, will become like fluffed up wool. Wool, as we imagine, is or considered to be something very weak. Any question on this? Okay. Ayah number 6. فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. So this is actually a starting of a shart. It ends here, and the jawabu shart will come in the next ayah. So let's do the analysis of this ayah itself. فَأَمَّا. So there is a fa and then amma. So there are two parts. So fa is actually harfu isti'nafiya. Amma, okay, is actually a harfu shart. And it is also said it is harfu tafsil. Now, when we were studying Medina books, it wasn't introduced exactly as a harfu shart. And that probably was done to not cause too much confusion. All the adwatu shart were kind of starting with idha, and then lesson 15 had a whole bunch of them coming together. They all had some kind of similar requirements or similar structural requirements in the jawabu shart, and also in the fi'lu shart actually. So which don't apply on amma, and actually they also don't apply on law as well. So the kind of the amma and law were kept separate from that, so that it was easy for us to understand the core or majority of the adwatu shart and their requirement for the conditional structure. But it is also another type of harfu shart. For amma, man here is actually ismul mawsul, and it is coming as a mubtada. And then saqulat. Okay. Saqulat is fi'l madi mabni ala fatha, ta lit-ta'nis. Ta is for lit-ta'nis. Mawazinuhu. Mawazinu is a fa'il marfu'un bid-damma wa huwa mudaf, and who is mudaf ilayhi. And this jumla fi'liya la mahalla laha min al-i'rab silatul mawsul. Because man is ismul mawsul, so it requires silatul mawsul, and that's what this saqulat mawazinuhu sentence is doing here. Okay, so in terms of the meanings, amma is translated as for. As for man, the one who saqulat. So saqula yathqulu thiqalatan. One of the few verbs which fall into this bab. Okay, bab, basically both the madi and mudare have a dhamma on the ayn kalima. Okay, bab karma yakrumu is an example of that. So saqula yathqulu thiqalatan, to be or become heavy. Okay, to be or become heavy. Okay, we for example use a word in Urdu, we call it thaqil, also in the same concept, that it is something which is heavy. Okay. So taqula is to be or become heavy. It's an intransitive verb. So as for the one, saqulat will be is heavy. What is heavy is the fa'il, which is mawazinuhu. Mawazinuhu comes from wazana yazinu, waznan or zinatan. Both are masdar for this. Bab daraba, to weigh or to balance. Wazan, we use this all the time. A template or a pattern we refer to as a wazan. Plural is awzan, weight or measure. Mizan, mizan, which is ismul ala. It is a noun of instrument on the wazan of mif'al. Its original was mifzanun, but because of the weak letter, that waw changed to ya, mizanun. The original is mifzanun, but the transformed to ya, so it became mizan, and its plural is mawazin. And now you can tell this is on the wazan of mafa'il. That is why it is mamnu min as-sarf. It does not take tanween. Mawazin. The meaning for this is the instrument which is used to weigh, which is to balance or scale. So it is the instrument of weighing or balancing, which in English we call it a balance. As for the one whose scales, his scales. Okay, maybe we should say are heavy. It won't make sense otherwise. Are heavy. Okay. فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. Ayah number 7. Okay. So this fa is coming at the beginning of the Jawab al-Shart. Okay. And that is what it actually is. Okay. That the rule is that amma, its Jawab al-Shart will be preceded with the fa if it is a affirmative sentence. Okay. Al-fa'u fi Jawab al-Shart. Huwa is a mubtada for a new sentence which is starting here. Okay. Fi is harfu jar. Ishatin is ism majroor. Okay. And radiyatin is naat for ishatin. And these fi ishatin together, jar majroor shibu jumla. Fi mahalli raf'in khabar li huwa. But remember, we still are missing the khabar for the man in fa'amma man. Okay, we identified that was a mubtada, but we haven't found the khabar for it yet. And that is what this whole jumla, this jawabu shart itself is a complete jumla. And this jumla is actually the jumla ismiya fi mahalli raf'in khabar li man. This is the khabar for that man. As for the one whose scales are heavy, fahuwa fi ishatir radiya. Okay, so he, fi is in isha. Okay, asha ya'ishu, ain ya sheen. Masdar, there are many masadir actually. Aishan, Aishatan, Ma'ishan, Ma'ishatan. Also Ma'ashan. Bab Daraba means to live, to be alive. Aisha actually is a Masdar Hayya on the wazn of Fi'latun. Fi'latun is a Masdar, is a special type of masdar which is called masdar hayya, which is a verbal noun of manner, a manner of doing something. Okay,
If you remember in book 3, we studied this. Jilsatun, for example. Jilsatun, the manner of sitting. Okay, the manner of sitting. There was one other example that was coming to mind, but I just escaped me now. And Ishatan is the way of living, the manner of living. Okay. Ma'ash, which is another word we use in Urdu, means of subsistence, okay, or working for livelihood. And then Ma'isha also has a very similar meaning, livelihood or means of subsistence. Okay. So he is in Aisha, way of life. I actually wanted to do red color, so let me just quickly fix it. He is in way of life. Radiya, okay. Radiya yarda, Ridhan is the masdar, also Ridwanan and Mardatan. Bab Samia, to be satisfied, to be content, to be pleased. Form 6 for this is Tarada Yatarada Taraduyan, to come to a mutual agreement. Again, on the pattern of that form 6 meanings, which are mutual and group actions, to be satisfied, to come to a mutual agreement. Okay. Also, form 8, Irtada Yartadi Irtidaan, okay, to be satisfied, okay, to approve of something as suitable, okay, also to choose or to select. Radiyatun is actually a feminine ismul fa'il, Radin being the masculine, means approved, okay, well-pleasing, or satisfied. So Radiyatan, well-pleasing. Well-pleasing. Okay. So as for the one whose scales is heavy, he is in a well-pleasing way of life. He is in a well-pleasing way of life. Okay. That finishes ayah number 7. Okay, let's move on, inshallah. Ayah number 8. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. It's a very similar analysis to what we saw in ayah number 6. Waw is harfu atf. Amma is harfu shart. Wa tafsil. Man is ismul mawsul. Fi mahalli raf'in mubtada. Khaffat is fi'l madi. Ta is lit ta'anis. Mawazinu is fa'il marfu'un wa huwa mudaf, and who is mudaf ilayhi. And of course, khaffat mawazinuhu is a jumla fi'liya. La mahalla laha min al-i'rab, silatul mawsul. Okay. In terms of meaning, and as for the one who khaffat, okay, khaffa, yakhiffu khiffatan, mud'af verb, double ain and lam kalima, to be light of weight, to be or become lighter, to lose weight. Khaffafa yukhaffifu takhfifan, to lighten, to lessen. Okay, the khaffa is intransitive verb, okay, and form 2, khaffafa yukhaffifu, is transitive, to lighten. Okay. So khaffat is mujarrad, or light, or so basically the opposite of saqulat, or light. Mawazinuhu, his scales. And as for the ones whose scales are light. Next ayah number 9. فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. فَأُمُّ and who. 3 words here. Fa again is fa'u fi jawab shart. Okay. Ummu here is coming as a mubtada wa huwa mudaf, and who is damir muttasil fi mahalli jarrin mudaf ilayhi. Hawiyatun is khabar. And of course this whole jumla ismiya fi mahalli raf'in khabar li ma. Ummu means is a hamza mim mim. So amma ya ummu amman. This is a interesting verb. It's mudaf, but it is also mahmuzul fa. Okay, the hamza on the as a first radical, and the ain and lam kalama are the same. Means to repair, to tend. Okay, with another masdar imamatan, it means to lead way, to lead by one's example, also to lead in prayer. Ummun, with the plural of ummahat, means mother. That's a more common meaning. It also means source, origin, foundation, basis of something. It also means a place of habitation or abode, also means home. Okay, that all these meanings belong to Okay. So ummuhu here has a meaning of his home. His home. Okay. Hawiyatun will be hawiya. Okay. So what is hawiya? Comes from the verb hawa, yahwi, hoviyan is the masdar, to drop, to fall, to sink. Hawan, okay, plural ahwa, which is used in the Quran, means whim or personal prejudice, also means personal opinion or unfounded conviction, something that cannot be justified by any logic or reasoning, or any evidence. Okay. Okay. And then Hawiyatun, the bottomless pit of hell, the abyss. Okay, the abyss. Okay, and that's what the meaning here is for Hawiyatun. His home is the abyss. Okay. Next ayah, Wama adraka mahiya. So wow here is coming as a harf atf. Ma is ismu istifham. Adraka, we've seen this before. So adra and ka. Adra is fi'l madi. مبني على فتحة المقدرة. فاعل مستتر تقديره هو. And ka is مفعول به number 1. Ma here is ismu istifham. And then here is Actually, there are two parts. First is here is damir munfasil. Damir munfasil fi mahalli raf'in khabar. I should have said ma, which is ismu istifham coming before. That is also fi mahalli raf'in mubtada. So ma is mubtada and here is khabar. Okay. Just one second. No, that's not what I want to do. Delete this. And then this ha at the end is called ha sakt. Okay. Ha sakt. Which is ha of silence. It is used for lamentation. Sorry. Lamentation and pause for reading. One example that a dictionary gave was wa kabida. Okay. So where this ha is ha sakt, this basically means, oh my liver. Okay. He has a pain in liver, so he's saying, oh my liver. That's what the lamentation is. So anyway, the other thing we need to point here is this ma here. Just like we saw before in ma adraka, this jumla is saddad masaddad maf'ulay مفعولي الثاني والثالث. Okay. لي أدرى. What is the meaning? وما أدراك, and what will make you realize okay, realize or know what here, meaning it is, what it is. Okay. What did we say? For ummuhu hawiya. Okay. His home is the abyss. Hawiya, feminine. Wama adraka mahiya. This here goes back to hawiya. Okay. And what will make you realize what it is? Okay. What is hawiya basically? Okay. And then the last ayah is narun hamiya. Narun hamiya. So narun is actually khabar. Khabar li mubtada mahzuf, which is taqdiruhu here. Okay, so for our understanding, the complete sentence would be here narun hamiya. Okay. So narun is khabar, and then hamiya is simply naat for nar. We know the meaning of nar. Okay, we've seen it before as well. Nara yunuru, nauran, to shine. Form 2 is nawwara yunawwiru tanviran, to enlighten, to illuminate. Form 4 is anara yuniru, inaran, to light, to illuminate, very similar to form 2. Nar itself is feminine and plural is niran, meaning fire. Nur, plural is anwar, means light, brightness, or guidance. And then munir, which is ismul fa'il from anara yuniru, one giving light. Then even nar here is fire. Okay, so it is fire. And then hamia. So there are two spellings for the Sulasi Mujarrad verb. One is hamia yahma, which is bab samia, hamyan, humyan, humuwan, to be or become vehemently hot. Okay. That is what this hamia is related with. And then there's another one which is hama yahmi, hamyan himayatan. This is bab daraba, to defend, to guard, to protect. And then hamia is actually ismul fa'il, the feminine form of ismul fa'il, something which is vehemently hot or blazing. Okay. So this is, it is blazing hot fire, blazing hot fire. So, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, and as for the one whose scales are light, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ, his home is the abyss. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ, and what will make you realize what it is? Narun hamia, it is blazing light, blazing fire. So blazing fire, it is blazing fire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being among that group and make us among the group which is mentioned in the previous section, which is فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ, and as for the one whose scales are heavy, he will be in a well-pleasing state of life, inshallah. Brother Farooq, please go ahead.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I want to take you back to the two, فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُ and وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُ. The first one we say it is isti'nafiyya, the fa isti'nafiyya. The second one we say it is harfu atf wa amma. Is there a grammatical distinction which is imposed so that one is isti'nafiyya and you have a new sentence starting, but the second one is a connection?
A very good question, actually, Brother Farooq. Jazakallah khair for asking. Unfortunately, I probably don't have a straightaway answer for that. So when it comes to these things, the point of confusion is that fa and waw both are among the hurufu atf, are the particles of conjunction. They are also, both of them are also harfane istinafiya, harfa istinafiya. Okay, both are our particles of resumption as well. So as such, they themselves don't give us an indication. Any structural thing in the sentence or the sentence before also does not give us any indication. The structural thing or the construction of the sentence does not give us anything. It is really depending on the context in which they are coming. So if you look at the ayat before فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, it was about the Qari'a. Okay, what Qari'a is, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving two examples of that. Okay, the human beings will be, mankind will be like the scattered moths, and the Jibal will be like the fluffed up wool. Now, kind of it is still in the same context, but grammatically, this فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, it is not grammatically, it is not connected with that. There is no connection we can make with the previous one. Okay. I mean, we cannot say that it is connected with the previous one as a conjunction. Okay. It is almost like a new topic is starting. It is still in the same context, but new information is being provided without saying and. Okay. But if you look at the second one, amma man khaffat mawazin, there we see a clear connection with the previous one, that it is actually the first one is about one group and the second one is about another group, so they are both kind of connected. So that's where first one is istinafiya, meaning it's a fresh start, and the second one is a conjunction with the previous one. So again, structurally we don't see anything, but we have to make that judgment call based on is there a grammatical connection or not, based on what the meanings that we are seeing.
Ahsantum, Jazakallah khair. Thanks.
But yeah.
Thank you.